Hi, so this is video 3 of my journey through pregnancy and birth and motherhood. And to watch the full video, make sure you head to my website, bonniemgriffin.com. There'll be clips of this on social media, but the full thing will be on my website, as well as the other 2 videos before this. So the last video I left off about right after Grace was born, and I was talking about how difficult breastfeeding was to get started. How the lactation consultant gave me a nipple shield, which is super controversial, but I really feel like it saved our breastfeeding relationship. There's just no way that I would have made it through that pain. Yeah. Yep. And I consulted with another lactation consultant to really help me wean off the shield, and it worked really well for us. I didn't have any issues with my supply dwindling. No. Like some people struggle with, and from what I understand, the newest research really says that it doesn't cause supply issues like people were really concerned about in the past with shields. So yeah, I'm really grateful I had one, for sure. But yeah, becoming a new parent is just a really interesting experience. Yes, honey. I just remember her wanting to eat constantly. And Ray, I'm trying to make a video. Okay? Yeah, go play with it. Yeah, spider. I just remember her wanting to eat constantly and nurse constantly, and I remember people telling me that, but I just couldn't wrap my brain around it. I remember being so paranoid that something was wrong with her, and it's so hard. New motherhood was so hard in so many ways, but it also was really nice. That first time you have a baby, you can relax with your baby in your postpartum for the most part. You don't have another toddler, to take care of. Do a lot of binging of, shows. We did have a little interesting situation where Donnie had knee surgery when Grace was probably 3 weeks old. So that was pretty hectic. But because of that, he was able to take like 10 weeks off with us and get paid, because he was on his own disability for some of that. Some of that it was unpaid, and we saved to make sure that he could be off. But it made it a lot more doable. 'Cause 10 weeks is a long time to not get paid. Although I was working, so I had part of my pay that I was receiving. But yeah, I had a pretty good initial postpartum experience. I definitely had the baby blues, that hormonal fluctuation. What I know now is that I probably was not eating to support my hormones. My eating habits have changed a lot since then. And I don't think I prioritize sleep as much as I should have, although I'm doing a video right now, okay? I don't know. So we initially started co-sleeping like night 2. The first night, I remember Johnny held Grace in the rocking chair for most of the night because he really wanted me to get some sleep. And now, again, knowing what I know, that's like the most dangerous situation, is to have somebody sitting up in a chair holding a baby and tired. and I'm sure he fell asleep, you know, but that is when you worry about dropping your baby. Couches and chairs are not safe. It's safer to make your bed into a safe surface to sleep on with your baby, so that you can actually sleep instead of try to power through being up. But thankfully I followed my instinct on that. We bought an arm's reach co-sleeper that is like a bassinet that attaches to the bed, and she just would not sleep in it. And I quickly realized that I got the most sleep when I brought her in bed with me, which, like I said, was like our second night home. And that really worked really well for us. Grace, try not to yell right behind me. I'm trying to do a video. And, you know, the bed would get soaked with breast milk. It leaked a lot. But it really worked better than having to get up and go get her and bring her into the bed or anything like that. We just slept in tune with each other. You know, she would move a little bit and I would nurse her and we'd go back to sleep, and it was safe. And in the moment I didn't necessarily know that it was safe, but I knew that that's what my instincts were telling me to do. And I ended up you know, going through the research after that to back up my decisions, which I'm not saying is a bad situation, but you know, I wish I would have just been able to follow my instinct and be happy knowing that it was my instinct and my intuition, and take that for as it is, instead of needing to find research to back it up. But again, you know, I was working as a behavior analyst then, and research was everything. Evidence-based decisions were everything in that field. And I'm just not there anymore. I'm not downplaying research, but I am saying, yeah? Oh. That, you know, there's a lot more to life than just making decisions based on research. So we continued to co-sleep. We still co-sleep. Grace is still in my bed, and we are okay with that. So both Grace and Ray are in my bed, and that really works well for us for the most part. But, you know, motherhood was great. I felt like I was doing really well. I caught diapered from the beginning and tackled that pretty well. And my biggest issue was when I had to go back to work. So I was not anywhere near ready to leave her. I wasn't even close, and I really felt like I had no other option. Financially, we needed my income at the time for the bills that we had, and it also seemed like that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to go back. And I figured out pumping and all of that. I was the first person at my agency to be pumping in the building, so they had to create a space just for me. That felt actually pretty good because there were multiple people that were pregnant or became pregnant shortly after that, so it kind of paved the way for that. And actually, Donnie was on third shift, so he would bring her up during the day to me on my lunch. Before I ended up going part-time, but before that, so I would nurse her on my lunch, which the first 3 weeks I was full-time until they could get it dropped down to part-time. And so that was really nice. That helped me get through the day. And the other interesting thing is that I was one of the first people in the agency to go part-time as well. They really didn't have a part-time option for my position, but I just I needed it so bad. And no, she wasn't. She's fine. And they just needed us so bad that I was able to get them to, you know, carve out a part-time position for me. And that worked really well. I ended up going down to, can you talk somewhere else? I ended up going down to half-time and to working every day for 4 hours. And that worked out really well for a while. I got out of the house every day. Like, looking back, Grace. Grace Marie. I'm trying to make a video and you're talking in the background is making it difficult. Can you move over a little bit? And then leave her alone? Looking back, I was getting out of the house every day, and I had, you know, the drive there and the drive back to, you know, make phone calls with friends that were, you know, not interrupted or whatever. And I didn't at the time, I mean, I knew it was great, but looking back, that was just a really awesome schedule. The only issue is that I really didn't meet any other, Ray, stop please. I really didn't meet any other parents. Stop, please. Because everything for stay-at-home moms is in the morning. So I didn't really fit in a group. You know what I mean? I was a working mom, but I only worked part-time, you know, but everything happened in the morning with stay-at-home moms. So I didn't really find my people, you know? And that was difficult because I had, but please don't do that. Can I have it? Then don't do that, okay? I had friends who lived out of state, but I wasn't able to really get a group of friends that were moms other than the people I worked with. But, yeah, other than that, motherhood was good. It was easier with one kid. I just felt more confident in my skills of mothering. My biggest issues was that, like I said, returning to work really brought back, you know, issues related to my childhood with codependency and, like, who was going to watch Grace and feeling comfortable with that, and like it all went back to unresolved childhood stuff for me, right? Which it always does, and I just wasn't like completely prepared for that. I don't know if anybody is, but yeah. So overall, you know, becoming a mother was pretty good. I really enjoyed, you know, doing all the first time things with Grace and, you know, watching her grow up, and her first, you know, year party, her 1-year-old party was just like big and too much as always for a first time kid. Thank you. I asked you to stop. But yeah, it was good, and we didn't really want to start we didn't start wanting to get pregnant again until she was around, well, I take that back, Donnie did. He always wanted kids close and lots of kids. But I wasn't really ready to even start talking about that again until till Grace was 2. And then we started talking about it. And, but I had some hurdles. I still hadn't had a return in my bleed. So I was extended, you know, breastfeeding. But even so, like, I had, you know, like I mentioned in the first video, some hormonal things, some fertility things. So I really didn't know what to do and how to get pregnant without stopping breastfeeding, and I didn't want to do that. So I ended up working with a naturopath, and Rebecca, who's in Fenton here, and we used herbs and got a return to my cycle, and that's essentially how I was able to get pregnant again. And I will stop there because at this point in the journey, things have been going pretty well, and they start to get a little crazy at this point. But yeah, I'd love to hear if any of this relates to you, about, getting pregnant with your first and becoming a mother or parent for the first time. Let me know if you have any questions or anything like that, or if any of this relates to you. But stay tuned for the wild ride that comes after this. And I hope you're having a great day.